What's up, everybody? Welcome in to me playing EVE Online. I'm actually really excited for my little foray back into streaming here. And one of the things that I wanted to do was make sure that I wasn't just um, doing one thing and getting burnt out on something. So the idea was to do a bunch of the things that I like, and yeah, if you want to come with, that's awesome. Um, so one of the things that I like doing is playing EVE Online. I'm not good at it. I don't think a lot of people are. The people who say that they're good at it are probably, at least in my opinion, really good at paying for it. uh, and so that makes it easier because they have multiple accounts or multiple ships or whatever. And I don't think that means they're actually good at the game. But what I do like about the game a lot is that it has a lot more to do with your mind than it has to do with like how fast you can mash a button. And as you get into MMOs and in no small part video games in general, you'll find that like they go one of two ways. Either it becomes a mile deep and a mile wide, and you spend most of your time thinking about the game rather than playing it, or why is my light not working? Or it gets into button masher territory where you go online, you pick out whatever somebody says is the best fit for whatever it is, and you fly it, and that's it. You know what I mean? And that to me is just not that much fun. I don't love doing it. So it's part of the reason that I love EVE Online. EVE Online is highly based on the amount of time that you've put in. You can have a wealth of knowledge about the game and be terrible. You can have a wealth of knowledge about the game and be good at what you're good at. You can have a wealth of knowledge about the game and only be good at like certain things that you don't need to pay for the subscription for and just play the free game. And you can still be an effective player and have fun with an alpha subscription. And I just don't know how many games that's true for. Now, no doubt, it limits you a lot. But I just don't know how many games that's true for. Like, how many games can you really play the free version and still enjoy the game? Like, legitimately enjoy it. And so I like EVE for a lot of reasons. And I'm excited to play it on stream. I'm excited to learn more about it because, in my opinion, you never stop learning how to be good at EVE. By no means, and like some of the creators some of the creators joke about it. Some of the creators are humble, but like, you know, Loru says for the best EVE guides. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I'm not giving you those. And you know, like Chlorokin is very humble about how good he is at the game, but I'm not giving you game breaking, life changing ways to play. I wish I could play the game like Chlorokin does. So instead, I think what I'm going to do is just kind of show you the things that I'm good at. And maybe along the way, you guys can give me some tips and tricks as well. And we can enjoy New Eden together. So, yeah, excited about that. All right, let's get the game pulled up here. And one of the things that was suggested, so I play on this uber wide setting. One of the things that was suggested was some OPSEC, so let's do that. So but if you were here early, man, you got to see it. You got to see where I bed now. Okay. This is interesting. So what I want to do first, let's look at what not factional warfare. What campaigns are up today? So one of the things that I think, and I'm going to get into some of the bigger picture stuff that I am wanting to see from Eve. I almost said upset about or want to change or whatever, but I should make it clear that, like, I think that the devs do an excellent job. Any other MMO, just, it doesn't last this long. And I think that points to what a terrific job the devs at FC do. There's an amazing amount of content in the game. It's amazing that it all works together. And I think in the future they should add more, but I just think they do a great job balancing it and making sure nothing's overdone. So if you do hear me say, I think they should do this or that, tag me if I'm complaining. You know what I mean? If you feel like I'm complaining about the game, because I don't mean to. I think there are things that they could do better, but I certainly don't mean to say that the game is poor in any sense. I think they do a terrific job. If you look at other MMOs that have been around this long, like World of Warcraft, like, it's a dying animal. And it's because stuff that you did 10 years ago isn't relevant anymore. They kept making new epics and, you know, wanting to get you to spend money on that kind of stuff. And all that happened is they took your favorite stuff and they made it inoperable. And Eve has done the opposite. Like, yes, they've added stuff. But whatever you loved 15 years ago about the game is still there and still effective, which is kind of cool. Okay, so let's take a look at what's around. So, mine Nesis, mine Crookite. We could do that, but that's kind of boring. Destroy non-capsuleers. So, it's interesting because they put a lot of this stuff in right in your area. And it gets wiped out so quick. So this was what led me to that little diatribe. One of the things that I think they should focus on is figuring out how to make each time zone worthy. Because I think one of the problems is, like, I'd get on here every day and do some faction warfare or campaigns or something like that. But by the time I log on, everything's cooked. It's done. And so it makes it really hard to want to get on and do something when you know by the time that you get in here, all the Crookite is gone, or all the Nessus is gone, or something like that. And I don't know what the best solution is for that. So, but this one I know I can do. And so we will do it while we kind of just talk to you about Eve and what I think the big things are with it. So let's see, there's a Jaspit deposit. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see what it has. And so, of course, if you have any questions about what I'm doing, feel free to ask. We're going to use the agency and go to ore anomalies and figure out what's in that Jaspit deposit. And it's just Jaspit, so that doesn't help us. And it doesn't look like there are any combat anomalies, so let's
Warp drive active.
So we'll just rat and get 26 and try to complete this specific campaign. The campaigns are interesting. I think they're good. I think dailies are good. I think they can be a bit I don't know. I think people can be upset about them a little bit because they're a little bit derivative. I don't think they're the best thing that you can do with your time in the game, but at the same time, it's something to do in the game every day, and I think that matters. So I like the campaigns, and I like the dailies. For the dailies, I think the 10,000 skill points is worth more than people would say that it is. Especially if you're not paying for MCT, which I right now am not.
Warp drive active.
So yeah, I'm sure we'll get a stream sniper in here at some point. I'm not being overly cautious right now in terms of gameplay or stream. So I should probably run this a little bit safer. Let's show you. I'm a little bit safer than I am right now.
Warp drive active.
Which, rule number one is don't warp directly to whatever the spot is and you're warping to. Which I have been doing, so I'll run it a little bit safer. Big picture for Eve. I think there's a lot of room to grow for Eve. I think one of the biggest issues is there's not enough space for everybody to run the style of gameplay that they want to run. And I know, like, people would say, well, it's not, you don't just run your style of gameplay, and I get that. But I just think there's plenty of space out there, and I mean that figuratively, not literally. I think there's plenty of space out there for you to run whatever kind of game you want to run. So it's an interesting problem to me. We'll just abandon those wrecks. I don't think there's enough null
drive
space.
active.
I think everybody wants null space, and I don't think there's enough of it. And I think when you have big corporations gobbling up, large swaths of it, so large that they can't even use all of it and they end up renting it out, there should be there's two things about it. One, you got to find a way to tamp that down, and then two, you've got to figure out a way to make that stop. You know what I mean?
Warp drive active.
So I have had a lot of ideas about this. One of the big things that I think I would propose if I got to, sit down with the Eve devs, is I think they should make the space bigger. But I also think they should do like EVP. Like, don't worry, little pioneer.
Warp drive
I'm not here
active.
for you. Let's tell him. But we do have a red-in system, and this guy does popping up and killing so this guy is wondering why I'm here, and it's a fair question. I wouldn't trust me either if I said, "Oh, I'm not here for
Warp
you."
drive active.
But that's plenty of conversation with him. Unfortunately, as you can see here, I've got a red-in system, and I know him from living here for a long time. He's particularly unfriendly.
Warp drive active.
And that would be one of my suggestions too,
Warp
is,
drive active.
you're going to lose some ships starting out in a new home, but don't let that discourage you. Spend some time there, get to know the people, get to know the choke points and that kind of stuff, and it'll help you doing stuff. Because if I saw him and I was trying to move something expensive or anything like that, doing anything but ratting in this cheap fit, I would be, because they're jamming me, I would be way more cautious knowing that he was on grid. But my fit right now is, so. I would suggest that you use the radial menu. It's so much better. Okay, let's jump to Ender Alien, because I think...
Warp drive active.
Look at me running OPSEC. Great job, Rob. But I think... it is part of the hostiles too, so we'll see if we get credit there for ratting. But yeah, so one of the things I want to do while I play Eve is talk about what the big picture stuff I think Eve should do.
Warp drive active.
And one of them is expand null space. And I have a very particular way I think that they should do that, because there's other things that I think they should expand as well. But in general, I think they need to expand null space and find ways to make sure that it can't be dominated by bigger corps. And I think they're doing that. Like, I think they see that that's a problem too. Hence, you've seen the Antsiplex changes that they're making. I think those are great. So you can't use force projection out to ungodly distances. And, you know, they said the whole reason that they did that was to try and make things better, easier for smaller corps. And that's it. You know, I think they make things really hard on smaller corps when you know, goons can just show up, and I don't mean to pick on goons. They're just obviously the biggest of the big right now. When goons can just show up with caps and wipe you off the grid. And so, am I getting credit for these? So I think the Antsiplex changes are actually really good. But I mean, what is your long-term goal with that? And I think if we can see it making changes, to who has sovereignty in null space, I think it could be a real good thing. But I think likely what'll happen is a team like Goons will just adjust by making all of
Warp
their
drive active.
member states take up sovereignty in different spots and still own vast amount of space. They won't be able to protect them as easily, so that's a plus. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to change how much space each of them have.
Warp drive active.
Am I going to ding a daily goal for this too? Probably not, huh? Of course, kill 25 is not an active one today, but that's alright.
Warp drive active.
And so what do I think that they could do? I think if you think about the real world and like up and coming corporations, they get smothered by the big boys all the time. And I'm not saying that you need to completely snuff out, interesting choice of language. I'm not saying that you need to completely destroy these player-owned corpse. Quite the opposite. But I do think that it would be worthwhile to make them fight the powers that be. Like, players shouldn't just fight players. These megacorps that basically run these empires, they would never allow a outside corporation to get as much power as like Init or Goons. They just wouldn't. They would buy them, they would destroy them, they would, and it seems like this runs on a capitalistic society. And so if your competitor was making that much progress and doing that well in nullsec space, what would they do? Well, they'd go after them, either financially or in other ways. And so, like, can they make it so financially it's harder for? Oh, there we go. Of course.
Warp drive active.
Oh, we landed the scram.
The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty.
Well, that sucks. Let's see if I can take him down anyway.
The capacitor is empty.
So probably not.
The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty. The capacitor is empty. Warp drive active.
GS and local, always appreciate that. Here I am chatting, not paying attention. I told you, I'm not doing great with the OPSEC here. But that's the way it goes sometimes.
Warp drive active.
Ew. Weaponized Vegemite. Disgusting. Yeah, I mean, with no newt resist on that ship, doing anything else was going to be tough.
Warp drive
God, what could
active.
I bring out there to fuck with him? I don't know that I have anything. My rupture, maybe? But I don't know that I have newt resist on it. I could put it on there, though.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Mm-mm. I mean, everybody says it, but further proof, don't fly what you can't afford to lose, right? I feel like that's a pretty easy one to know, but if you're just getting into EVE Online, that is the big advice. If you can't afford to lose it, don't fly it, because you will lose it. Let's find some new resist for this. And see if homie wants to come play again. You know? Maybe he'll take the rupture too. Why do you keep saying that? Yeah, it's about the same though. Okay, let's get some new resist on this. I don't think I can fit a large cap battery. I don't even know if I have a large cap battery. 17,000 EHP, that's probably enough. And I can use this stab to get out of there if I need to. Okay. Elise. Leave me alone. We'll see if she comes back hunting for me.
Warp drive active.
I also need to mark her. I didn't mark her. Was just trying to rat, you know? But that's the way that EVE Online works. So what I was saying about corporations getting so big, that these actually big computer corporations would just never allow something like that, you know what I mean?
Warp drive active.
And so what could the game do to put that kind of pressure on player-owned corps that would happen in reality? And I think part of the thing is like an EVP type thing where, you know, they send these mercenary fleets out to just harass some of these other corps, you know? She's gone. She's either cloaked up or knows that I went to get a ship that I could kill her with. I don't know that I could kill her with this, by the way. I just would have a better shot than in the destroyer I was in before.
Warp drive active.
I do think she popped up on me cloaked last time. But like I said, not running the tightest OPSEC today. Be disappointed in myself.
Warp drive active.
So yeah, I want to talk about partially more space in Eve and controlling, making sure that, you know, they don't control large swaths of space. Because even the most
Warp drive active.
like even the smallest parts of Eve still have a bunch of people there. Let's see, how can I think that's under universe maybe? I'm trying to figure out how I find jumps, and I know I've found it before. I wish I knew where to find that. I'm not sure exactly.
Warp drive active.
But I've found it before and I've looked it up, and I was just looking to see, like, you know, the least jumped system. Hypothetically, the quietest system in Eve. And it still had, you know, 50 jumps in 24 hours. You know? And so if that's the case, like, I don't know. I just don't think you're gonna find space that's not occupied by somebody bigger, you know. And defending it, I think, becomes problematic then. But they do have, you know, wormhole space, so. And that's part of the reason why I'm so fascinated by how Chlorokin lives, you know? I just think that's so cool.
Warp drive active.
But for me, I solo box and play by myself. And I made a rule that on my main that I can't fly a ship until I've built it. And so to try to live like Chlorokin does, it's just a slow process, Of course, the one that I don't want to kill is locks first. See if we can just move through these real quick. We don't want to stay anywhere too long. But these are small ships, and so should be quick work.
Warp drive active.
If you can't tell, I like fast ships. I do not like big, slow, bulky ships. This is probably the slowest ship I would fly on a regular basis, and we've got under 4 seconds for a line, and that freaks me out so much that I've got a warp core stab on there. I do have friends that play. They do own a big corp. I do have that advantage of being able to use that corp to help me when I need things that only a big corp can do, like own Athenors, mine moons, that kind of stuff. So that's nice. Oh, that was it. That got us across the line. I didn't even see that. Can you guys see that? Yes, you can. So that's nice, having them to help me with some of the bigger stuff. But I feel like they should make it more accessible to play solo. So you could, and more costly to play multi-box. Because there are times when I'm in like trig space and there's somebody running 20 ships. And it's just like, I mean, there's no way you're not doing that without input broadcasting, right? Like, but I guess I shouldn't accuse people of that unless I know for sure. But
warp drive
I just don't see any way that you could do it without. Getting some monthly bonuses. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Warp drive active.
I do think they've made it friendlier for newer players, though, to do that kind of stuff. Even though you need a bigger corp to help you with some of it. I think they've made finding those corps and finding those people more accessible. So I think that's cool.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Gotta build some bigger ships here. I got a Praxis, Ferox, Navy. Where are my stabbers? You know what I mean? I need to build some cruiser and some destroyers here. Lots of frigates here. Okay. I wish that my PI and industry setups were something to brag about. I'll probably do
Warp drive
videos on them
active.
just to show you guys at some point. But oof, Lokian system now. They are haunted.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
And my boy Jan just with his Pioneer trying to mine some shit. You're gonna get blasted, boy. Make no doubt about it. I got a Drake here waiting and a Gnosis. That's interesting. I could maybe build out that Gnosis. But let's see. Do I have any more? I don't. So I was looking to see if I had more Cormorant Navy issue blueprints, but I did not. My missile skills are not great on this guy. They're good enough, but they're not great. I do much better with the hybrid turrets. Maybe I build this. I haven't built a Catalyst Navy issue yet. Let's do that. I do want to build that Kikimora. I've got a Kikimora, I think it's at the Indy spot already. But I do have a Kikimora blueprint that I found. This what do we want to research? Oh, might be time to put the Caracol in for a long sleep. Let's put both these in here. And go look at our Indy. At least get out of my system. This is my home. This is one of the times that I wish I had
Warp
a
drive
clue.
active.
When you've got some reds in the home system and you want to avoid losing more ships, but you definitely want to teach them a little bit of a lesson.
Docking request accepted.
So one of the things that's been really tough, and I made it hard on myself, I wanted to play the game in a hard way. But one of the things that's been really tough is the amount of skills that you have to split up to be good at gathering resources and then refining them and then doing jobs. So, you know, if you guys have any questions about that, I'm happy to spend some time talking about how I do all that stuff. These are both pretty long. Well, let's look. So one's 12 days and one's 31 days. And one thing that I like to do when I'm doing science jobs is you can see I've got 2 jobs in there. I've got 5 jobs total. I like to make sure that I have one slot that really only runs for a day. And then the other ones I like to make sure that they're spaced out, so I don't have to wait for forever to get something to a slot to open up for a science job if I need more than one. Now, I only have 5 science jobs. I haven't invested the skill points to have more than 5 science jobs, but part of the reason, like I said, is, so my guy here has 44 million skill points, but I have to move them around, spread them thin so much to be good at everything that it makes it harder for things like the science jobs. Like I could invest more time in it, no doubt, but okay, so let's see. That's 2 days. That's not 2. It's a day. Let's put the camera on for a day. Let's put the vigil in for even less. And then I don't feel like going back and getting another blueprint, so let's look at the copies that we have. And see if we can invent anything. I tried the Talwar and that didn't work last time. I don't really know a lot about the Bifrost though. I don't have any command destroyers yet. So yeah, we can try that again. One of the things I find very annoying is that they don't, so like here, see how it tells me how many I have? It doesn't happen here. It's very annoying with the decryptors. So this one says, oh, you need Minmatar Space Starship Engineering. You have 117, this will cost you 4. Okay, fine. High energy physics, you have 91, this will cost you 4. Okay, fine. But then when you go to the decryptors, it's like, can you not do the same thing with decryptors? So you have to go into your thing and look it up. Let's see, accelerant 45, augmentation. That's the one I never use. Process 42%. Maybe I'll run that. Symmetry. I think I tried symmetry last time, but let's do that again. Got plenty of those. Okay, so then you can see you can see here I like to just have them a little bit spaced out. So if I feel like there's a science job I have to run, I need to invent something, I gotta copy something. Which, by the way, it's very annoying that science jobs and copies are the same thing. But say I'm moving to a different part of space and I need to make a bunch of PPCs, or I want to sell them or something, I like to have a slot available to do that if I need to right away. So a bunch of these running just for a day is really good for me. I also want to build that catalyst issue. Ooh, I don't have enough preservation seals, and I don't think that is here, so I am gonna have to go back. Take that with me.
Have a pleasant journey, Capsule.
And I do try to build most of the stuff that I use. It doesn't always work like that, but I'm a big source it yourself guy.
Warp drive active.
But the game, like, I don't know, that's not fun for everybody. I do feel a sense of accomplishment to be able to say, like, I built Tech 2 ships and I sourced 90% of the material myself. Some of it, when I started building Tech 2 ships, I just couldn't get my hands on.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
R16, and I just didn't have a low-sec moon person, or R32 or R64, and so I just had to buy some of that. You know what I mean? I couldn't do it any other way. And before anybody asks, no, I'm not an Ohio State Buckeyes fan. People get real twisted about the shirt. Well, why are you wearing the shirt? I went on a trip. I went to the Horseshoe. And if you think I'm not going to buy some gear when I'm on my trip, so I remember my trip, then you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. Okay, let's see. We need auto integrity preservation. So nanites and super tensile plastics. Reinforced carbon fiber. I think I have all that there. Maybe not the reinforced carbon fiber. We'll have to see. Oh, she left. Looks like our assailant lost their Stratios. Somebody trapped him. So you love to see that. You know what I mean? Good. Our PI sold. That's awesome. I know it looks like I don't have much in the way of Liquidisk, and I don't really. But it's because I spent
Docking
so much
request
on
accepted.
production. Man, lots of it's dangerous out there today. Somebody else lost another ship too. I should look at Zika for the system. Okay. So how many do we need? 3 more? Let's go. And let's make 3. One more after. And I should get into mass production of those, but mass production just doesn't feel like it makes any money. Chatbots, gross. AI chatbots in the chat. Gross. Am I right? So let's do our little run around. Oh no, I already did that. So that should be. Oh, I got the LP. Look at that.
Warp drive active.
Okay, well. Apply those skill points. I know I'm a weirdo. I do try to keep at least 50.
Docking permission
like
requested.
1.5
Docking
million
request
skill points
accepted.
on hand in case there's something that I want to hit real quick. On my main, I've got 2 million in the bank, so that's nice. On one of my alts, I have 0, and on one of my alts, I have 1.5. But the alt that has 0, I moved into trig space. So, okay, should we gather up our PI real quick? Let's gather up our PI real quick. Even though it is hot out there, but that's okay.
Warp drive active.
Should probably cover my chat channels too, but I just don't really care. Not in any like dangerous channels, you know?
Warp drive active.
But I mean, I've watched plenty of creators. I've seen them get stream sniped. I just don't know that I'm all that interesting to stream snipe. I don't fly expensive stuff. You know.
Warp drive
But if you
active.
want that 23 mil Navy issue on there, then go nuts. Oh, I can't wait to go on there and see if she lost that Stradios. I think she did.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Peace. Whew. It's a little hot out there today, you know what I mean? Little bit hot. Let's get out of there.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
I want to see what's going on over there. I also don't think I picked up my non-CS crystals. So let's go look. I got a cloak and a stab. I'll be fine.
Warp drive active.
Was that 5? Maybe that was 5.
Warp drive active.
It is hot in Losec today. Kind of like the other day, man. Loru brought that Gaia out and sparked an international incident, which is hilarious. But always love somebody willing to go yeet that stuff.
Warp drive active.
There's the fit. Super basic. Yeah, what's happening out here? Don Brogus. What you doing, Don? You know? Just tell me what you're doing. Well, that's probably how she lost her Stratios.
Warp drive active.
See, that's why I need people to play with. I'm a solo box solo player, and I have access to all kinds of people, but I would just need somebody who wants to do something like that with me. Because I'd be down for it.
Warp drive active.
A little light today, a little bit of a light pickup. Gotta pay more attention to my PI.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
I should just take that thing off. I guess I rest my head on it sometimes, but... Okay. Let's see how long is left on those auto integrity preservation seals. 16 minutes. So let's log off.
Connecting.
Coming up in a little bit here, I am going to record a video talking about Holland stuff. How you should do it, what you should do. Really a new bro type video. Gonna have to phone up my boys and find out why all their structures aren't timers.
Warp drive active.
So the PI is interesting to me. I do it, I think, in a
Warp
pretty
drive
normal
active.
way. But I do plan on making a video on it at some point here. But I think the question is just what tier do you go to on the planet that you extract on? And that kind of is what defines your PI setup.
Warp drive active.
With this character, I only have it up to 4 on interplanetary consolidation. So I only have 5 planets that I can use. But I can still make T4s with her. So and I have her set up. I have upgrades to 4 too, I believe.
Warp drive active.
I might have it to 5. I have to look. But I have her set up to make one of the simple but more expensive types of PI.
Warp drive
the
active.
What's it called? Nano factory drones or something like that.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Ooh, we got raided. Welcome, everybody. You raided me during my my most boring part. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. My name's Rob Trujillo. I talk about a lot of things. I do a lot of things. Today we're doing EVE Online. It's an EVE Online Tuesday. Just doing a little PI here as we wait for some things to build. And so we can build some bigger things. Going to talk about hauling and stuff like that, but let's get somewhere safe here.
Docking request accepted.
We can welcome the raiders in an effective and nice way here. Okay, it is Ancient Seton 3. What's up? Let's give you a follow. Appreciate the raid. Thank you very much. And for everybody coming in, my name is Rob Trujillo. Like I said, I talk about sports sometimes. I talk about D&D sometimes. I talk about EVE Online sometimes. Try to mix it up and talk about all different kinds of things that I like doing. So thank you, Ancient, for dropping in with your viewer, and appreciate the raid. Okay.
Warp drive
Unfortunately, you
active.
caught the boring part of me playing EVE Online. But we're going to do a video on PI here soon, and a video on hauling here as well. So just getting some B-roll.
Warp drive active.
Okay.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Excited to talk about the hauling video too. First real guide I'm gonna make. But I just think it's something that people don't really realize. So psyched about it. Always do that. Always forget to move them both at the same time.
Warp drive active.
Going to take a break here in a minute before we jump over.
Docking request
and record
accepted.
that video. Make sure we keep this bad boy running. And I'll do a PI video here at some point soon. But just know, they made it easier on you to be able to go in and from the PI menu, restart your extractors if they've run all the way to the end. But as you can see, like, do you really want to let it run all the way to the end? You know, and I only have mine on 4-day cycles on this one. I just think it's smarter to go in and you can manually restart them. If you're really looking to push it, you know what I mean? If you're looking to make more money. And as you can see, it doesn't take all that long. But it is an extra step, an extra thing you gotta do. See if our stuff
Connecting.
is 3 minutes, 33 seconds. It's okay. Let's look and see what else is available for the campaigns today. So these, I mean, I'd love to do these, but it's one of those things where, like, there's just never any in system. And obviously it's been hot in those contested systems today. lot of faction warfare stuff. One, two, three, four, five, 6 faction warfares. You think that's what they're having trouble getting people to do, or what? I mean, come on. Let's see where they are with the overall campaign. Caldari, over halfway there. They're definitely going to make it, right? Oh, this is new. Geography. I like that. Huh. So they are going to link TA. No, TTAC U, is it? I don't even see that. Interesting. To be fair, I haven't really cared that much about it, but let's at least look. Was I reading that wrong? Is it TTAC B? Show on map. Oh, is it TTAC LI? Nice. Good job. And where is... Damn, that's a jump, man. Why don't they link it from Placid? Let's put the map into 3D and see. It's gotta be one of these close ones, right? So they bridge that space. Well, I think they're going to get it done for sure. Let's look. The other ones. 13 of 30. 14 of 30. I haven't seen as many creators helping them. This is the one that I think doesn't get finished. I just don't think there's enough players in Amarr space. Like, you made Amarr such an evil empire that, like, people don't like playing it. This one, if the creators push hard, I think they'll get this one done. But build pioneers. Maybe we go do that. How many do you have to build? 6? Yikes. That's a lot of resources. I have to go there because I went into the wrong bin. And never check my output location. It's the worst. It is the worst.
Warp drive active.
That's actually not that bad for resources. But 6.
Docking request accepted.
2 million trit. I mean, it's not ridiculous. But the Galente don't like me anyway, so why would I help them? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Always into iteming what we do it, you know? You know what I mean? Now, how many of these can we make? 51. Let's save ourselves a little carbon fiber. 24. Also didn't change the output location because I'm great at what I do. You know me. So yeah, 6 pioneers is like 2/3 of the trit I have. Feels too long. And I've got more in reserve, but it's just, you know, trucking how much compressed I have. I do have a lot of compressed scordite. Might be enough to make the pios. Just 6 is so many, and then you gotta move them after that because you're never gonna sell them there because the only people that are buying there, you know. Trying to buy them for you for an escapice. So. Ooh. Why? The job has changed. All right, so I think what we're going to do is take a break. And when we come back, we'll cut our video on New Bro hauling and the best ways to do it safely, in my opinion. I'm a little bit of a smuggler, you know what I mean? So I feel like I have some decent advice, so we will send that out.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay. All right, we'll take a little commercial break here and be back in a couple minutes and talk about some hauling and run some more stuff in Eve. So we'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. Excited to try to cut my first EVE Online video. But if you guys have anything in particular you want to talk about or want me to do an EVE Online, let me know. Happy to try to make that happen. Okay, let's get back in here. So I'm going to cut this video for YouTube. So if it sounds weird, that's why. Never really done this before. Excited to do it for the first time. But if you're on the stream, you get to see the early action, early access, early you get it. Okay. What's good, everybody? My name's Rob Trujillo, and I'm here to give you some tips I've picked up on EVE Online throughout the years. I'm a solo player, and I also have the rule that I can't fly anything until I build it, at least on my main character. So I've learned some things along the way that I think are helpful, and I want to share with y'all. I do stream EVE content live every Tuesday, so if you'd like, you can follow me on Twitch at Robert Trujillo, or you can follow me on YouTube at Rob T Radio, and that's all my socials as well. But give me a follow, come join us, and we will stream EVE right on this very channel, and hopefully talk about some things that you didn't know before to keep you interested. For today, if you are hauling stuff as a new bro or things that don't require very large ships, you're probably doing it in the wrong ship. Hate to break it to you. So a lot of people get caught up in the trap of using haulers, and they're just not that effective at what they do, in my opinion. You get a hauler at the beginning of the game when you go through the career agents, and these boys, I mean, they are chonky. They are not really built for any kind of safety, really just to use around high sec. And even then, if you are hauling something that has an immense amount of value through high sec in one of these, you're probably going to get scanned down, and if the right ganking team is there, you're probably going to get popped. That's not to say that they're unusable, and there are work cases, scenarios that it makes sense to use a hauler, but for the most part, you kind of want to avoid them. You, for the most part, want to jump right into Tech 2 transport ships. If you want to use haulers at all. And if you look at things like the Bustard, or its sister ship, the Crane, these are the type of ships that you're gonna want to be using while you go through more dangerous parts of space. That being said, everybody's done a video on that. And if you talk to any content creator, they will tell you that the way to go is to train into Tech 2 transport ships if you need to use haulers. Here's the thing. These ships hold around 5,000 M3. If you can fit your stuff in something that can haul 5,000 M3, then my suggestion to you is that you don't really need one of these transport ships anyway, because you're not carrying anything that's big enough that you couldn't do it in a couple of runs with something else. And the 5,000 M3, there are cases where you need something like that. Maybe you want to move a couple frigates. Maybe you need to move some command centers and you want to do them all at once. But those are the only things, like ships and command centers, are the only things that take up that much M3. Most everything else is, you might have that much M3 of it, but it doesn't take up that much space. So you don't need something that holds 5,000 M3. You need something that holds 10 M3 500 times, right? And so that's kind of the difference that I'm getting at here. So again, not to say that there's not use cases where these haulers are more effective because you need the extra M3, just to say that I think you can do better, and I'm going to show you the ships that I think you can do better with. Real quickly, off the bat to start, if you do need just a lot of M3 as a hauler, the ones that I'd suggest to you are the Mammoth, because between the low slots and the rigs, you can get this thing to around like 12 to 14,000 M3. So if you really do have just such a huge amount of M3 that you want to move it all at once, the Mammoth is your size go-to. But again, it's only moving through really high sec, maybe a little bit of low sec, because it's a dangerous ship to fly because it's so slow. Gallente, the haulers each have a specialization that other factions don't have. And so if you need to use it specifically for that, it's another opportunity or use case where you might want to use a hauler. The Iteron Mark V is one of those. It's much like the Mammoth. It's got the most cargo space. You've got the Cryos has the mineral hold. The Epithal has the PI hold. And the Miasmos has the for rocks, the mining hold. So those, if you need to specifically move a lot of stuff, which if you do, I understand, but you really still shouldn't be doing it in these, right? So like the Miasmos, if you want to move, or you should just move it in a mining ship, right? So your Venture holds 5,000 M3 in its mining hold. Your Pioneer holds 8,000. Your Pioneer Consortium issue holds, I think, 12,000. And so if you're going to move M3, I mean, do it in the mining hold of one of these ships. You should also be thinking about compression with the ore and really moving compressed ore. You don't need special ships that have it. And then if you're looking to just fly the fastest ship that has a M3 load of a hauler, there really is only one answer, and it's the Wreath. The Wreath you can fit for speed. Now, the way that I play, solo box and solo player, the Wreath is really the only answer when it comes to I need over 1500 M3 and I need to move it fast. So I put together this fit. You can do fits a lot of different ways with the Wreath to try to get the way that you want it. And as you can see here, I've got sub 4 fits that hold 5K, 6K, 8K. When you're talking about, can you build a ship that has the ability to move quickly and still carry a decent amount of stuff? Here is the fit that I would suggest to you. I'll put it in the description below. But you got almost 22K EHP, just a little bit more than that. You do have a stab on it. And if you're going through high sec or low sec, that is what I would recommend. A warp core stabilizer. I throw even a cloaking device on here depending on where I'm going and what I expect to run into. But as you can see, it's about 6,500 M3, and your align time with your afterburner off is sub 4. Obviously, this is going to change based on your skills, but I'm at 3.9 with it. You can make little adjustments to drop it even lower if you don't quite have the skills to get it under 4 seconds align. To me, this is the only option for a hauler that you use regularly in any kind of space. It is the only one that moves that quick when it comes to align time. The other ones with lower align times just don't get close to the Wreath. And so, yes, it's only, 5,000 or 6,000 M3, but if you have to fly a hauler, I would recommend that you fly the Wreath. Okay, so let's jump right into the ships that I think you should be using to haul if you're a new bro, if you have less than around 1,000 M3 in cargo that you need to move. And what I'd tell you is if you have 2,000 or 3,000 M3 worth of cargo that you need to move, say it's PI or compressed rocks or whatever, if as a new bro you need to move that, if you can't fit it in these ships that I'm about to show you, my suggestion would be to make multiple trips rather than to take a hauler. But if you want to run the risk of taking a hauler, go ahead. So there are 8 frigates in the game that have 400 M3 of cargo capacity. They're all frigates for the Empire factions, and they are the exploration frigates. And so if you look just at the base numbers for the exploration frigates, you can see that they hold 400 M3 just to start off with. And what you can do is then pump up the amount of M3 that you have available to you by using cargo hold expanders and cargo capacity. So if you look, you got probe fleet issue, those each hold 400 off the bat. Imicus and Imicus Navy issue also both hold 400. And I'm going to go through each of these and tell you why you should or shouldn't use this. There is a clear winner in terms of which ship that you should use, in my opinion. The Heron and Heron Navy issue both hold 400. And same thing with the Magnate and the Magnate Navy issue. So you can see all the base ships hold 400. first off, we're going to eliminate the Heron and the Heron Navy issue. And I know that's going to be tough for people because I know it's the most used exploration frigate out there. But why are we eliminating them? The Heron only has 2 low slots. And so it makes it near impossible to get it to the cargo capacity that you can get other ships to. It makes it great for exploration because you have all the mid slots. But both the Heron and the Heron Navy issue just don't have enough low slots for you to effectively use it as a hauler. So you can eliminate those 2. That leaves you 6. The Imicus and Imicus Navy issue. So the Imicus has 3 low slots, and I believe the Navy issue has 4. Yep. And I think it's the same thing with the probe. So the probe has 3 low slots, and the probe Navy issue, still only has 3 low slots. This is why the Magnate is the clear winner, in my opinion, for the ship that you should use as a hauler. You've got 4 low slots, you've got 400 M3. Of course, all of these ships have 3 rig slots to help you expand the cargo as much as possible. And then, when you switch to the Magnate Navy issue, you get that extra low slot. And this is why, for me, the Magnate Navy issue is hands down the ship that you should be using for this. No question at all. It used to be a situation where you would take a Sunesis, but they nerfed the cargo capacity on the Sunesis, and even if you mark it up now, you can still only get to around 1,000. I have all these fits for you, and I will show them to you. I will put the Magnate Navy issue fit in the description down below. But let's just show you, for example, these ships fitted out. So let's start. So the Imicus hauler, as you can see, this fit, I can get it up to about 936. But the important thing with me with these fits is to make sure that you still have frigate align time. There's a reason that you're using these frigates instead of using haulers. So it's important that your align time is under 3. With each of these fits, I tried to get them under 2. There are ways that you can do it, but you need incredible skills to get these frigates under 2 align time. It's just tough to do. So really what I think you should be shooting for is sub 3 align time. Now, if you're not entirely sure what that means, the way that EVE Online works, it works in server ticks. Each tick is 1 second long. Every second the game updates and says, let's render all the information that I've gotten over the last second. And that's how it works when it comes to things like aligning and locking. And so it doesn't matter if you align in 2.1 seconds or you align in 2.9 seconds. You're just a sub 3 align, because it's not till that next second tick that you're going to be able to warp off. And so the safest that you can be is a sub 2 align, because when you pop up, you have the first second tick off, and then for something to be able to lock you in the next second, it's highly unlikely. There's a couple ships that can do it, but for the most part, if you're off grid, if you have moved in under 2 seconds, chances are you're going to get away out of 99% of gate camps and attackers and so on and so forth. These are sub 3 second align. For the most part, you should be able to get away. But as you look, you can see the Imicus here. Yes, I can get it close to 1,000 M3, but I got no warp stab on it. There's no win condition here for if somebody tries to lock me down, and I don't get away with just purely my align time. It's not, I think, a world that you want to be living in. For the probe, same thing. You only have 3 low slots, so I can get you to 963 M3, but you have no win condition for getting away if there is a situation where you don't get away based on align time alone, 2.85. So I would eliminate that one. I would tell you it's the same thing with the Navy issues of each of those ships. You can get a better version if you do the Imicus Navy issue. And this allows you to fit a warp core stat. So you have a sub 3 second align, you have over 900 M3, and you've got a warp core stabilizer for a win condition for if you get caught by a gate camp. But it's your only win condition, but that is what you're doing. As you can see, this fit 32 million-esque. These are pretty affordable fits in general. Yes, they're going to cost around the same amount as a fit hauler, but you're going to be so much safer for multiple reasons. And that brings me to the ships that I would recommend. It's the Magnate and the Magnate Navy issue, and I feel like it's not even close. If you are a new bro and you are trying to build the cheapest fit possible, I think you can do a Magnate. This Magnate to me is as good as the Imicus Navy issue. Right? So this is a T1 frigate. It is not a Navy issue. This is just the straight Magnate hauler. We've got 2 expanded cargo holds on it. We've got a small polycarbon engine housing and then 2 cargo hold optimizations in the rigs. A warp inertial stabilizer to get our align time down, and a warp core stabilizer to get away to give you a win condition if you do happen to get caught. Your align time is 2.81. That gives you a little bit of room to have a little bit of worse skills than I have. I don't have the best skills, but I have decent skills. This is your win condition here, right? You want to be able to get away at a frigate speed. You also have the warp core stabilizer for if you get caught, and you can carry over 900 M3. This fit is 13 million-esque. That's it. So if you are looking to move stuff and you are a new bro, I would tell you, maybe you're making runs to Jitta with ore, compressed ore, or you're, running some basic PI to Jitta to sell. This, I think, is a great fit for you if you only need around 900 M3. But, obviously, the best ship to haul stuff with if you are hauling under a certain amount, I think, is the Magnate Navy issue. Now, I have this thing tanked up. So if we look at the Magnate hauler, you have around 3,000 EHP. You might survive a smart bomb blast, probably not. Most of the time there's a smart bomb gate camp, there's more than one smart bomb, you'll probably get hit by 2 of them, but I think you need around 3,000 EHP to survive a blast. So you might get away with it, but chances are you're going to get hit. This one, the Magnate Navy issue, the way that I have it set up is over 5,000 M3, or over 5,000 EHP. Means you should survive a gate camp. But I spent a lot of the fitting on this to get more tank and allow for a second win condition. You don't have to. You can instead optimize the amount of cargo that you have, and I'll show you that here in a second. But the Magnate Navy issue, as you're looking here, we've got the same amount of M3 as the Imicus Navy issue and the Magnate T1 version. We've put in a micro auxiliary power core. That way we can have the warp core stabilizer, a medium shield extender 2, and a multi-spectrum shield hardener. And here's the big thing. You've got a 10 MN afterburner. This is a medium-size afterburner that we've put on a frigate ship. And so without it, we go 331 M3 a second. With it, we go over 1,500 M3 a second. M3. We go over 1,500 meters per second. So, what does that mean? That means that the Magnate Navy issue, when you're using it for hauling, if you want just the same amount of cargo as you would have in the Magnate or the Imicus Navy issue, you have 2 wind conditions if you get caught. Obviously, your first thing is that you want to get away with your align time, 2.88. Hopefully that frigate align time is enough to get you through most sticky situations. But if you're in a situation where there's an insta-lock, maybe somebody's got an interceptor or something like that, that locks you down super quick, you've got wind condition number 1, which is your warp core stabilizer. You can use that, try to warp off. That's wind condition 1. Wind condition 2, a 10 MN compact afterburner. If you put it on and heat it, you'll be going 2100 meters per second. That means that hopefully your second wind condition is that you can make it back to a gate and gate crash your way out of there. As soon as those ships lock you and fire on you, they can't travel through the gate anymore. And so if you're able to make it back to the gate and jump back through, they can't follow you. So those are the 2 wind conditions that are set up with this Magnate Navy issue. Now, this is how I would run it if I was running through low sec or null sec. You've got 2 wind conditions on the ship, and you're still carrying close to 1000 M3. To me, this is the best fit for you. But you can also tech this down a little bit, and instead you can put extra M3 in there. So as you can see, if we add an extra cargo expander instead of having the micro auxiliary power core, now we're up to close to 1200 M3. And I think if you're carrying anything more than 1200 M3, you're probably, you need to have enough skills to be in something that is safe to fly. And I don't think the haulers are safe to fly. You can throw either an afterburner or a micro warp drive on this if you are gonna do it this way. It also, I think you could get maybe 2 medium shield extenders on it. Let's look and see here. This, of course, is the Navy issue, so you have a little bit more room. Okay, so you can get a medium shield extender 2 and a compact shield extender, medium compact shield extender on it. That gives you 5400 EHP. To me, that's just as good as having the multi-spectrum on there. I know people like to make sure that you have some resist in this EM hole. For me, I like having the raw EHP instead when I'm flying something like this, because when you go through a gate, you have to activate the multi-spectrum hardware. And so it's not going to help you with smart bombs. It's just not. You could put in a rig for it, but the way we're designing these ships, we need the rigs for our line time and for our cargo hold to expand it as much as we can. So you don't have the option of putting an EM hardware in the rigs, and you can't activate it if you come through the gate and somebody just blap smart bombs you coming through the gate. So I prefer to have the base EHP in there to try to survive a hit like that. I think it's your best option. You aren't going to be able to crash the gate with this fit. Your afterburner won't work if you get or your micro warp drive won't work like the afterburner if you get bubbled. Whether it's a stationary bubble or you have interdictor in there. You need afterburner if you're going to try the gate crash method. If you put a regular afterburner on here, you're only going to be moving about 500 M3 or meters per second, and I don't think that you'd be able to get back to the gate in most situations because you won't have enough EHP to survive long enough to get back there. So if you want that wind condition, you really do have to run the micro auxiliary power core and have to have the overpropped afterburner on there so you can crash the gate. So you only have one wind condition if you build the Magnate Navy issue as a hauler this way, and the wind condition is your warp core stat. It's basically, can you stabilize and get out of there? I've got a warp core stat 2 on here. I believe that gives you 2 points. Let's see, yeah. So that gives you 2 points of warp core strength, meaning that you would need either 2 ships locking you down, or somebody would have to have some sort of faction scram to get you locked down and unable to leave with the warp core stab 2. So I think if you are moving stuff in high sec, if you're going through places like Perimeter or Jitta, if you're going to one of these sites where, recently they've been putting these pop-up sites where you turn in currency for modules and blueprints and so on and so forth, with the events that they've been doing. If you're going to any of those places, I don't think you need more than 900 to 1200 900 to 1200 M3, and this is an easy way to get it. And then here's the other thing: if you fly a hauler, these gate camps are going to be looking for you, knowing that you're an easy target. If you're flying a Magnate Navy issue, sure, they might scan you thinking that you've got in your cargo hold maybe relic site materials or data site, stuff. And so that might be worth money, so they might think about scanning you down. But for the most part, I think gate camps aren't even going to look at you. And that's been my experience. If you're flying a T1 or Navy issue exploration ship, they just kind of let you go, because they're not expecting you to be hauling stuff. And so if you're hauling, 100 mil worth of PI through Jitta, and you don't even want to be cargo scanned, like, this is the way to do it. And if you want to fly one of the haulers, if you need to fly one of the haulers, there are specific ones. We'll go over that real quickly here. But I just think anything that you need the more cargo space for, you should be flying the Tech 2s if you're able to, because those are going to be immune to cargo scans. They're going to have great align time. So T1 haulers, it's dangerous to take those through. And I just think that if you're a new bro, or if you're not up to Tech 2 haulers yet, you're better off flying something like this, the Magnate Navy issue hauler, and doing it 1200 M3 at a time, rather than making one trip of 3000 M3 make 3 trips of 1000 M3. So this is the way that I've kind of been sneaking around low sec, and it'd be my suggestion to you, get yourself frigate align time with 1000 M3, and it should take care of most of the things that you need it for. This is also great for picking up PI inside of a specific system. The times that you're going to have more than 1000 M3 that you need to pick up, I feel like, are really rare, unless you let your PI run forever. But if you do your PI daily, you should be able to pick it up with 1000 M3 and move it to your planet where you're turning it all into T3 or T4. So this is my suggestion to you. The use cases for the haulers. we'll go over quick, but I don't think that it's particularly smart. I think you should go with the Magnate Navy issue as the hauler. We'll put the fit for that down below. We'll put both the fit that has 2 win conditions and 1 win condition, one carrying about 900 M3, the other carrying about 1200 M3, that you can use as a little tiny hauler for just 30 million ISK. I think it's a great deal. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you'd like to watch us play EVE Online live, we do that on Tuesdays on this very channel and on Twitch. Or you can just look out for the pre-cut, pre-made videos right here on YouTube. And we will continue to make those. I'm Rob Trujillo. Follow me at RobTRadio, and we'll give you all the updates. Thanks for playing along. Okay. So that's my my little secret that I'm putting out there. So let's take these fits. I forgot how to copy these. Copy. There you go. And we'll throw them in the notepad here, and then that way we can put them right in the fit. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, if you think it's a good idea or a bad idea. But for me, it's worked out pretty well. And then we'll throw the magnet. And finally, we'll throw the wreath fit in there. Which one do I want to give him? 6. It's an interesting. Got so many wreath fits in here. Interesting. I'm going to switch this up a little bit. Throw some compacts in there. And see if I can't get a micro warp drive for the micro warp drive clue track. Off by a lot. Okay. Let's do a little fitting here. You can watch me do it live. Can I get a compact margin? 32. That's interesting. Okay. So you got the micro warp drive cloak trick as a wing condition on this. And you've got the warp core stab as a wing condition on this. You're sub 4. You got 6500 M3. Put this in there. Fittings. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, if you were watching me do PI before, you saw that I use wreaths. I'm very confident in my routes that I take and the way that I protect myself. So I take the wreaths. But I've been using a Magnate T1 hauler for forever. And this isn't even the souped out Magnate Navy issue one. This is just a T1 Magnate. I got 860 M3 and I use it for basically everything. You know what I mean? It is my go-to for getting stuff around space. I think I'm gonna go get one of those Magnate Navy issues. But part of the reason that I did this, and I had been doing this since I was a new bro, right here. 2.8 million ISK, and 500,000 of it is the ship, which I obviously have a blueprint of and can make for free. So it's really a 2.3 million ISK fit. I can make the rigs, you know. They're not the best. This isn't the best version of it, which is what I'm putting out in the video. But since I was a new bro, this is what I use to move stuff around, because it's all super cheap. And so, yeah, you know, I might have 100 million of PI or something like that in there. But, you know, you're risking that product when you move it no matter what. And this has been safe enough for me that I don't really worry about moving stuff with it. But like I said, I think part of it is the head fake. I think part of it is that people aren't expecting you to be carrying that amount of stuff inside of a T1 frigate. So you get to kind of sneak around that way as well. So yeah, I mean, it's one of my most used and favorite ships. Okay. Now that we got that done, so one of the things that I want to do, and let's take a break because we're gonna have pre-roll again here, aren't we? Yes, we are. So I'm gonna take a commercial break. We'll run some ads, clear the pre-roll, and then we'll come back and do some more EVE Online. Okay, everybody, welcome back. So, I want to talk some big picture Eve stuff here. And we will attempt to show this. So, my thoughts for EVE Online. Penny for my thoughts? So, EVE Online. Right now. I think it needs more space and needs more content. I think they're driving towards this with the things that they're doing as well. You have New Eden, right? And if we look at New Eden, looks like this. It looks like a disk galaxy. Now, I don't know that for sure, but to me, I would say if you look at it in the 3D map, it's fairly flat. It looks rounded. I would say it's a disk galaxy, right? Terrible. Terrible deal. Let's see. You have 4 empires, right? Galaxies to collide into each other. And there are different types of galaxies. So one of my thoughts is, what if the Eve Gate opened and either the Jovians or the Drifters or somebody made their way to another galaxy in the same area? And what if that galaxy was a spiral galaxy rather than a disk galaxy? Let's do it. Like a sun. Right? I feel like that's not crazy. And this disk galaxy, as it's spinning, what if it started to make contact, right, with the disk galaxy? So the sections of null space that are here in the new area are touching the sections of null space that are here in the old area. This allows you to put extra null space into the game. I also think it answers a question that I'm sure they already have an answer for, but I haven't really heard it, of where the Triglavians came from. Because I think what you can do is you can add 4 new empires. Oof, that was bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm having fun playing with the tool. I don't know why this is fun, but it is. system. For new empires. And those 4 new empires, they live in this spiral butt kicked. That's why they left. Because they're not any good at fighting these 3 empires. Right? If you do this, you can give the Triggs a full tree. You already, of them, you have the most of any pirate faction, I think. But you've already got Tech 2 ships. You've already got more ships than I think almost any other. Like, you could make this just a full tree. So you give them, 5 more frigates. You give them a full empire's worth of ships. But the reason that they left is because their weapon system, what have you, wasn't effective. And so these other new empires, you give them new stuff that helps them, that is what the Triggs couldn't defeat. And it's why they left, looking for new space, which is what they took over in New Eden. This allows you to put in a whole bunch of extra null, a whole bunch of extra low, and a whole bunch of extra high security space. And these other 3 empires, you can have one that I'll go into the details of it because I've thought about it a lot, and I think it'd be interesting if you had one that had tank in the high and weapons in the low. Pods, like you can put maybe some kind of nanite weapon in the lows that effectively works like a breacher pod, similar to where it shoots and attaches, so even if the thing blinks, the nanites are already on the ship eating away at it. So you could do some sort of nanite disintegrator type weapon and put it into the lows. And I think it would be really cool to have those options where you've got a low slot, a low energy slot tank. You've got a medium slot energy tank. Could you make a high energy slot tank too? And make it with these new factions. I also think that you could, it's really weird that really only the Amarr use lasers. So I would make one of the empires a laser ship as well, and try to soup up, make this distance hundreds of jumps to get from the edge of New Eden space to low sec in the new space. I would make hundreds of jumps. And I think it gives you a reason that carriers matter, and things like the I want to call it the Odyssey, but that's not right. What's the name of that ship? What's the name of that ship? No, it's not there. Where is it? Why am I blanking out right now? Oh my god. Odysseus. Ships like that matter more when you have to backpack a long way. And so like orcas, rorquals, carriers, you're trying to make them more effective. Went down a wormhole, and then you end up on the other side of the new space. And so there's a way that you can travel through this arm and get to this side, or you can follow these wormholes where you can only fit certain size ships. I think it's large ships and smaller. Maybe it's medium. But you let people scan down wormholes and end up in the further reaches, and they can start claiming it. So, I don't know. I'll probably spend more time talking about this idea in the future because I like the big ideas. You know what I mean? I'm an idea man, and kind of spending some time on them and talking about them, I think, is a lot of fun. Now, obviously, to create 4 new empires and the ships for the dev team would be a ton of work. Not to mention all the space that you would need as well. So, I'm not saying that this is something that they do, tomorrow. But I think as a long-term, and it's like, I mean, these are the very edges of space, and there's still people out there. Like, it's still full. And if you look at things like, look at Fountain, look at all the jumps. In an hour. Aquarius. Catch. Innsmother. Look at this. You know what I mean? So I just feel like there's room, and I've heard other content creators say this too, so I know I'm not alone in thinking this. I feel like there's room to spread here. And by that I mean there's not enough room in the map. There's enough players that if you introduce more space, they would spread out a little bit more. And, with bits and pieces like they did with Exordium. But I just think if you enact a plan like this for the long term, I just think it's kind of a cool way to start introducing new space. And then you get to decide as the devs, how big is this? How much room is there? And at some point you can let people start as, whatever these new empires are, including Triglavian. You can have them start right here instead of starting here. And I just think it makes for a really cool dynamic of, like, what are you looking for in the game? Do you want to find people? Do you want to be with everybody? Do you want to join Corps and have a lot of conflict? Then you should definitely pick New Eden. Right? But do you want to play a nomad game? Do you want to be Chlorokin? I do. I mean, I want to play like that. I want to be a solo player. So maybe I can find a spot in the new galaxy and bring Tritanium from New Eden to the new area. You can make a ton of money doing it. And with the new empires, with that many ships, you can make it so their blueprints and so on and so forth require that changed amount of minerals for each ship. Gives you the opportunity to introduce a bunch of new blueprints, gives you the opportunity to create conflict. It gives you a reason why things like Concord and Edencom would be really important. You already have standings built in a little bit where if somebody's a trig, and like people want this, like I think it was Galente didn't even win, and then figuring out how to implement them. And so to me, again, this isn't something that you could do quickly. It would be something that you'd have to introduce slowly over time. But having this in the back of your mind as you're building through the next years, that this is going to be your endpoint, I think would be really cool. Because, I mean, me personally, and I think it's maybe a little bit harder on me than it is on the average player, but I'm exhausted by all these pirate factions. You know what I mean? Like, turn some of them into empires and give me full freaking trees, and maybe that's just me, but like, what are we doing here? And it's cool to add some flavor and some changes to them. it's cool to have the, you know, you got to have skills in 2 empires. But I think what really would be cool is this is just the ships that the Triglavians brought. They have a full tree, and we're going to show it to you now. And I think that would be really cool. I mean, you have, what, a third of the ships of a tree here? You know? And you'd have to build them, you know, the haulers and stuff too, so maybe a little bit less than a third. But you'd really have to build them some Tech 2s and then some variety, you know. But you've got the makings, the start of a tree here that you could turn into an empire's ship tree. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it would be a very cool thing to start working towards a bigger goal, like the one that I kind of explained here. And I'll talk more about it and some other things that I thought about it as I move on. But I think making the game feel bigger and making players feel smaller is what people who come to space MMOs want. Like, I think you want to feel like you're conquering this vast unknown. I think that's part of the allure. And so if you were to introduce this space, you know, this galaxy said, we will be streaming every day of the week. We will do different streams every day of the week. Some sports, some EVE, some D&D. So give us a follow, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and come hang out with us. But thank you to everybody who popped in today. And yeah, I love you all. Remember, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing right. So spend that extra time on it.